Welcome to LiveDaf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem and welcome back to today's Daf Hayomi Menachos Daf Mem Daled. We begin right on top on the first line with a brisa. Tana Rabbanan describing our elusive chilazon, fish, snail. Chilazon zeh. Okay, this is the exact description of the chilazon. Gufay, in terms of its body color, doime liyam, it's like the ocean, bluish. Ubriyasai, doime ledag. And briyasai, some learn, is referring to its development, the way it grows. Doime ledag, it grows in the same habitat as a fish, meaning in the ocean itself. V'oilel echad l'shivim shana, and it comes up, it surfaces once in 70 years, and some explain it's just an expression, once in a lifetime. It's very rare, very uncommon to encounter this creature. And they use its blood to dye the tcheles, the blue wool. Lefichach, because it's so rare and inaccessible, dam avikar, and it's so expensive. Dam avikar. Okay, Tanya, Amr Nasan. Ein l'chol kol mitzvah kala. You know, every mitzvah in the Torah, even a mitzvah kala, an easy mitzvah. Some learn mitzvah kala because we're talking about a tzitzis, which is a mitzvah aseh. It's only a positive. It doesn't have the same severity as more severe mitzvahs. And some learn mitzvah kala because of its accessibility. It's so not costly. It's so cheap, a couple of strings. So every mitzvah will give you reward in the next world, of course, but even in this world, one gets some reward, some sort of bonus reward, whether it's in terms of protecting you from sin, or whether it's just in terms of giving you, granting you success. So every mitzvah, there is no mitzvah that does not have both aspects, reward in this world and in the next world. There is no mitzvah, even a light mitzvah, an easy mitzvah, in the Torah, which will not grant you some measure of reward in this world. That's, for sure. And certainly regarding Olam Haba, any idea come, I have no idea. It's unfathomable. This world a little bit, but in the next world it's beyond comprehension how much reward is awaiting us. Come take a look at a story regarding a fellow who got rewarded somewhat in this world for his being meticulous with mitzvah tzitzis. Tzeilamad mitzvah tzitzis. Ma'aseh b'damechlu, a story about this fellow, Shayu mitzvah tzitzis, he was very careful with his adherence to mitzvah tzitzis. Oh, it turns out that he stumbled a bit. Shama sheish zoinab karchayam. He heard about this stray woman, bekarchayam, somewhere out of town, far away. Should I tell us dalad meyois zuvim b'schara, whose cost was 400 zuz. And he sent her the check. Shigur la arba meyos uhuvim, a couple of zman. He appointed a time. Shigiyaz manu, when time came, Bo b'yashal al Pesach, he came to the entranceway. V'nichnasa shivchasa, so her shivcha, her secretary, went in and told her, look, the customer is here. V'amalo, ois yad, when that fellow, sheshigurlich dal meyos uhuvim, who sent you the money, is here. Bo b'yashav al Pesach is here at the entranceway. Amrahi, so she says, okay, come in, yikanes. Nichnas, he entered. She prepared for him zayin mitos, 7 beds. Sheish shel kesef, 6 of silver. It was like a bunk bed. Bed above bed above bed. V'achas shel zav, and the top one was of gold. Ubein kol achas v'achas. Between the beds, to get from one to the other, you had to go through a ladder. Sulam shel kesef, silver, exquisitely, a real exquisite arrangement. It was silver and gold with silver ladders. V'elyonos shel zav, right? The top one was the gold one. Also, v'yashval gabi elyonos, she went upstairs to the top one, sharuma, unclothed. And he also climbed up to the top, and he sat opposite her likewise. And as he was there, suddenly a miracle happened. Apparently he was still wearing his tzitzis. We said he was very careful with tzitzis. And the tzitzis jumped up at him in a miraculous fashion. Wake up, fellow! Bo dalet tzitzis, the 4 tzitzis from the 4 corners jumped up and strapped him in the face. And now he got sort of a jolt, and he woke up and he says, I don't belong here. Nishmat. So he abandoned, went all the way down and sat on the floor. She was taken aback by his abrupt departure. She also did the same. She went down to the floor. She addresses him and she says, what's going on? She made a shvua by the life of the Roman emperor, and she says, I'm not going to let you leave. I'm not going to let you go until you tell me. Until you tell me, what blemish did you notice in me? He says, once again, he also swore, but he employed the Hashem, right? The Avodah, the service of Hashem, so he swore in the name of Hashem's service, and he says, it's got nothing to do with you. I never saw Isha Yafa Kamoisech, such a nice woman like you. Ella, rather, the reason why I'm backing out is because I don't belong here. Mitzvah achas. Look, there was a mitzvah shetzivonu Hashem Elokeinu Hashem commanded us to do, and it's called B'tzitzis Shema, right? Because and in the mitzvah, in the psukim that discuss the mitzvah of tzitzis, we find the term Ani Hashem Elokechem. I am Hashem, you are Hashem, twice, right? Shtei pamim. In the last pasuk, right? It begins and ends with the same three words, Ani Hashem Elokechem. And the message here is, Ani Ushasali Para. Hashem is saying, I am the one who will punish for wrongdoing. Vani Ushasali Shalom Sachar. Likewise, I will be the one rewarding for good behavior. Okay, now Akshav. As I was sitting there, Nidmu Alai Kedal Dedim, the four strings here, the four sets of strings, all jumped at me, and like four witnesses. We are recording everything that you're doing. We're going to be there to testify. And that gave him a shudder and jolt of reality. I don't belong here. Amalei, you're so taken by his sincerity, and she says, wow, a person could make such a bold move at such a challenging moment. She says, I'm not going to let you go until you tell me, you identify yourself. Mashemcha, Mashem Ircha, Mashem Rabcha, Mashem Edrashcha, what's your name, your city, the name of your Rebbe, the name of your yeshiva, Shatalam Beter, where you learn Torah. Okay, he had no choice. He took out a paper, gave her the info, Kosav and Asam Biyad, they gave it to her. Amda Bechilka. Okay, so he left, and she decided she has other plans for her, the rest of her life. Amda Bechilka Kolin Chaser. She went and distributed all her wealth. Shlish L'Malchus, a third to the king, to the IRS, as she says, she had Nechenel Gayer, so that they don't get in her way. They let her convert if she chooses to. Shlish Lanim, and third, she gave to poor people as a schus for success in her efforts. Shlish Natal Biyad, and the next third, she took along with her. So she gave everything away except except for those sheets that she had prepared for this man. So she came with two suitcases, one with the money, one with the sheets. And she came to the Rebbe, who was his Rebbe. Amalei, she comes in and she says to the Rosh Hashiva, Rebbe, Savei Elai, instruct your Dayanim, to allow me to convert. Amalei, he says, 1 second, Biti, my daughter, Shema Inayach Nasat. You know you can't convert if you have ulterior motives. Perhaps you're drawn to one of my students, and that's what's motivating you. So she says to him, she pulled out this note and she says, look, I want to show you something. She gave it to him, and she explained to him the whole story. She had nothing but virtuous intentions. She was so inspired and taken by this person's sincerity, by his higher calling, and she wants to be a part of it. Amarli says, sure, welcome to Yiddishkeit. And in fact, go marry that man. Now you could build a nice Jewish home together. It was meant for you. Amarla, l'chi, go, zechi b'mikchech. Acquire your purchase, so to speak. Here's your man. And in fact, they married in Oisam Atzois in those sheets. She'etzir be'issa, which way back when she had offered him improperly. Now it was used properly. So this is an example. Where you see a person got some level of reward. He got this woman, he was saved from chet. Via the mitzvah tzitzis, but that's only in this world. Regarding the reward that's reserved for him in the world to come, we have no clue. It's beyond our wildest imaginations. Any day ever come. Amar Yudah. Speaking about tzitzis, talos shul, a borrowed beged, is not really chayiv in tzitzis. It's meant to be your beged. So kol shloshim yom, the first 30 days, turim not tzitzis is no tzitzis requirement. Past 30, if you wear it past 30, chayeves, you have to have tzitzis midrabanan because it looks like it's yours. We find the same in a brayso regarding a mezuzah on a house. Hador b'punduki Eretz Yisrael. One lives in a guest house in Eretz Yisrael, or who's renting a house outside Eretz Yisrael. So the first 30 days, kol shloshim yom, patam mezuzah. There's no need to have mezuzah. It's not really your home. Past 30 days, chayav, he puts on a mezuzah. Aval asoicher bayis Eretz Yisrael. This is all in this case. But if one rents a home, an apartment in Eretz Yisrael, there the chachamim requirement to put a mezuzah right away. Rashi, by the way, says that the reason why you're pater from mezuzah the first 30 days, he says, pater shemi yachzer boy. If you rent a house in Chutz La'aretz, you know what, you might back out. Perhaps it's not really going to be your place, so you don't have a mezuzah, but right? But Eretz Yisrael, we say right away, as soon as you move in, you install the mezuzah. Why? You're just there for a day. What's the right? Mishum Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, because Chachamim want to encourage people to settle Eretz Yisrael, and once you have invested in the mezuzah, you'll be more reluctant to leave. You're more encouraged to stick around. Okay, Tefillah Shel Yad Eina Ma'akeves. Mishnah says, in terms of the two tefillins, if you have the Tefillah Shel Yad, put it on. It's not going to. If you have the Shel Rosh and you're missing the Shel Yad, the Tefillah Shel Yad is not mi'aked, does not hold you back from doing the Shel Rosh. You can do one at a time. That's only true if he has both, and he chooses to put one on, fine. So he can be at least that one. But suppose he only has one. He only owns one. Me'akeves. In this case, you cannot just wear that one. Okay, now the reason was not yet given. We'll see later. Amr, the Talmud, the master of Chizda, Amrs. Let's confirm this. Is this what you? Is this your position? Amr, no, I never said it. Means to say I'm changing my mind. And he explained himself. He says, why should we disallow a person putting on one tefillin if that's all he has? Elamanta lesle, try mitzvah. So if a person doesn't have two mitzvahs, chad mitzvah namid l'le'av, they shouldn't even do one. Of course you should. There's no difference whether you own one or you, right? It doesn't matter. Asked the Gemara, now initially he did make this statement. So what was the logic behind it? Initially when he said that if you only own one, you shouldn't put it on. Why? There's a concern that he might just leave it like that. So if you own two, eventually you put both on, so we can say, you can be yaitz even with one, but if you only own one, we want to stop you right there to encourage you to buy a second one. That was his thinking initially, but ultimately he said, look, put on what you have. At least that much. Amar of Sheshes. Kol she'edam aniach tefillin. If one fails to wear tefillin, oiver b'shmeina aseh, he has neglected 8 mitzvahs aseh. Rashi explains, because we have the 4 parshias and we have 2 mitzvahs. Ukshartam lo isal yedecha v'hayot tetafos. So you have 2 mitzvahs asehs, double by 4, multiply by 4, you have 8. V'chol she'ein lo yitzitzis b'bigdai. Person fails to wear tzitzis on his 4-cornered garment. Oiver b'chamish aseh. He has 4 5 mitzvahs aseh. Rashi says, v'asa v'nasna v'hayir isam v'dil v'nasan lach. 5 mitzvahs aseh. You're makayim when you wear your tzitzis. V'chol kayin she'ein el duchem. A kayin who fails to go up to the stage to do the birchas kayinim, he has missed out on 3 mitzvahs aseh. Oiver b'gimel aseh. What are the 3 mitzvahs aseh? So you have Koisavarchu, V'soma Shmi, and Emor Lahem. So when he's Mevarech, he gets those 3 mitzvahs. What about mezuzah? How many mitzvahs are there? V'chol she'en lo mezuzah b'pischa, a person fails to have a mezuzah. Over b'shnei aseh, he has skipped 2 mitzvahs asehs. Because it says Chosaftam twice, one in the first parsha, one in the second, Chosaftam. Omer Shlokish. Okay, on the positive side, Kol Maniach Tefillin, a person is careful and always wears his tefillin. Ma'arach Yamim, he will merit long life. Shenemar, Hashem Aleim Yichyu, when the name of Hashem rests upon them, That gives them life, grants them life. Yichyu u'luchol b'hein chaye ruchi v'tachlemein v'chi. Says the Mishnah. So typically a carbon comes along with Menachos nesachim, is a mincha, flour and oil, and also wine, which is poured on the mizbeach. Suppose he only has one, not the other. Can he proceed, or does he need the full package to even get going? If he has just the wine, he doesn't have the soilus, the flour and the oil, okay, just pour the wine. And likewise in the reverse. If he's missing the wine, you can still process the mincha. Here we're talking about blood applications on the external mizbeach. He meant to do multiple applications. If he doesn't do that, he only does one, they don't hold each other back, meaning the carbon is successful. Tana Rabbanan. Here comes a discussion regarding sequence. So you have your carbon oil, right? Then you have the mincha, then you have the nesachim. So the carbon comes first, of course. What's number 2? And what's number 3? Is it the mincha followed by nesachim, or is it the other way around? Tana Rabbanan, we have machlekes. Pasuk says u'menachasa miniskeim, which sounds like mincha is 2 and nesachim are 3. Mincha and then nesachim. Have mincha. First do the mincha, and then have nesachim followed by the nesachim. That's the chachamim. Rabbi Eimer, he says no. It's first nesachim and then mincha. Rabbi Eimer, zevach and nesachim. It's the carbon itself, then nesachim as number 2, and then comes mincha. Zevach and nesachim have zevach, v'achakach have nesachim. Okay, so according to chachamim, it's mincha then nesachim. Going to Rebbe, nesachim followed by mincha. Now, what does each one do with the other one's pasuk? Rebbe nami yoksiv. What does Rebbe do with the pasuk? U'menchasim neskeim. That's coming for another halacha to allow you to bring the mincha nesachim even a day later. U'menchasim neskeim. You can bring even balayla, the night following the processing of the carbon. U'menchasim neskeim. Even tomorrow. It's a separate offering. Okay. Rabbanan nami yoksiv. What did Rabbanan do with Rebbe's pasuk, that it says zevach and nesachim, that nesachim come before the mincha? Well, that's coming for something else again. Look at the ziri, it's coming for ziri. Dama ziri. Ein nesachim iskachin el b'shritas hazevach. The nesachim acquire their kedusha, and they're sort of getting tied to this particular carbon. They can be transferred only once the carbon's nishcha, the shchita sort of activates that kedusha and that bond to the nesachim. Ein nesachim mishkachin el b'shritas hazevach. And that's learned from the pasuk zevach u'nesachim. Okay, so the zevach activates the nesach. Fine. So we have shitas chachamim, we have shitas Rebbe, we have each one's respective source, and each one's explanation in terms of what to do with the opposing shitas, source. Ask the Gemara. Now the Rabbanan based their shita on menachos neskeim, which according to Rebbe taught us that you can bring the nesachim even later. How did Rabbanan know that halacha? All this pasuk is unavailable for that. It's coming for their source. Rabbanan nami mibayla, they need the pasuk menachos neskeim at night balayla. Menachos neskeim afilu even tomorrow lemacher. You're right. That's actually what they use the pasuk for. So then, what's their source? That it's mincha and then nesachim. Elahainu tamaydu rabban d'chsiv. We have another pasuk, oila u'mincha, which says that the mincha follows the oila and then comes the nesachim. No, v'Rebbe nami yaksiv oila mincha. What does Rebbe do with that pasuk? Says the Gemara like this. You're right. Ela b'bayim mazevach dukuli amali pligi. If you choose to bring the mincha and the nesachim with the carbon itself at the same time, all agree that the proper order is as per this pasuk, that it's oila, mincha, and then nesachim. Kuli amali pligi the mincha v'akach nesach. We have this pasuk, oila mincha, which says that it's oila mincha then nesach. Machlekes is only b'boim ifnei atzma. He chooses to bring the accompaniments separate from the carbon. Now the question is, how do we sequence it? Rabbanan say, look, there's no difference. Together or separate, it's all the same order. Just as when it actually comes together with the carbon, all agree it's mincha and then v'chakach nesachim. Same if it comes on its own. There as well. It's mincha and then only v'chakach nesachim. Rebbe disagrees. I understand that when you bring up the carbon, it makes sense that the carbon is first and then the mincha, because they both share similar characteristics. Hasamu, over there, I did the Asla Achila since he began the process with the carbon itself, like the oil, right, which is offered to the Mizbeach. It's Mizbeach consumption. It makes sense to conclude that process with the Mincha, which likewise is partially offered on the Mizbeach. So it's also consumption to the Mizbeach, and that's why it follows. And then, only then comes the wine. But if he chooses to bring them on their own, so the carbon was today, and le'mincha, let's say, was tomorrow. In this case, I hold nesachim adifi. The nesachim come first, the wine comes first. Hoyel. The misamro shira alayu. Why? Because wine has an advantage. The Levim sing their shira when they pour the wine. So that is meant to come first. And then the mincha. Okay, so bottom line is, minchasa v'neskeya. Right, the accompaniments of a carbon. It can come either with the carbon or at a different time. If they're with the carbon, all agree it's carbon, mincha, and nesachim. When they're brought separately, Rabbanan say you stick to the same sequence, and Rebbe switches it around. One final point in the Mishnah is, how do we know? To Rabbanan we have a brayso. How do we know that only bloods which are applied on the external mizbeach? So although they require multiple applications, suppose he skipped Shenasnan matana achas. He only did one application. Shakiba, how do we know it works? Shenama we have a pasuk, which speaks his singular term. V'dam zevachcha yishafech at lashon yachid. Amaz v'chasham lakecha to tell us that even one application is deemed a successful carbon. Okay, we spoke about the tremendous schar of mitzvah tzitzis. The fellow who inspired this woman to convert and eventually ended up marrying her. That was the schar l'maseh, and certainly l'mabah, all the more. We spoke about the talis being chayiv and tzitzis only if it belongs to you. So if you borrow somebody else's talis, you don't make a bracha on it, right? We spoke about the chayiv mezuzah within 30 days. After 30 days, we spoke about the tefillin shel yad and shel reish not be ma'akiv each other. We spoke about the multiple mitzvahs that are associated with tefillin, tzitzis, mezuzah, and brechas koyanim. We spoke about the sequence of the mincha and the nesachim and the matana achas amaz be'achitzayin, which is machaber. All the best to you and atzlacha.